Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to Microsoft Flight Simulator. I'm Martin Wenzel. Well, it's morning where I'm at, but in Casablanca, Morocco. Technically in Casablanca, it's about 2 or 3 in the afternoon, but we bumped up a few hours, about 5:15 or 5:10. We'll get a little evening flight down to Laayoune, the Sahara Arab Democratic Republic, also known as Western Sahara, and I'm butchering all the names there. 474 nautical miles. We're going to be flying Royal Air Maroc, and it's flight 1410 on the A320, usually flown in a Boeing 737-800, but we don't have any of those in Flight Simulator yet, at least good ones. And we'll be using the FlyByWire A320neo mod for the A320. Very good mod. So thanks for coming along. If you are watching on Twitch, please give it a follow. And if you are watching on YouTube, hit that subscribe button and the like button and all that. And get over on Twitch and help out too. We're trying to get to 50 followers by New Year's and trying to get to affiliate status over on Twitch. Let's start up the plane. Start setting it up at least. X. I'll bring that up a little bit later. Just a little bit. Alright, making sure our parking brake is set, flaps are down, engine masters. I need to turn off this music a little bit. I like this. A little bit Japanese though. From Harris Heller, Alpha Gaming. A great bunch of green beats that you just have on the background. Alright, engine masters are off. Ignition is normal. Turn this integral light switch up right now before we turn on the power. On our landing gear down, wipers are off. Just making sure everything not gonna like fly away here. Start it up. Our throttle is idle. I'm gonna go to our battery switches. 1, 2 are on. We have external power, so it's on right away. Strobe lights to auto. Before we get too far, we're gonna get our sim brief. Golf Mike November to Golf Mike Lima. And it looks like there's it estimates about 2 hours, but I think it's gonna take about an hour and a half. Not that long. Actually, I wonder if I could put that company route in. We'll try that. We're going to put that into the... Oh, you got all the important information right there. I didn't notice that. Really cool. But we do need our fuel, so let's go to the OFP. Flight plan. 7,189. Hey, how you doing, Josh? Gonna be flying not too long a flight. Like I said, it's probably gonna take an hour. Then, depending on the time, might fly the CRJ over to the Canary Islands. That might be an afternoon flight, just so I don't have to rest, because we do have an appointment at noon for the doctor, the baby doctor. So, oh, I just did instant. I don't want to do instant. Oh well. It's already on board, so I guess how it goes. 7189. Actually, I can do instant like this. Okay. 7189. Real. It'll take 2 minutes. How's the baby? Not here yet. Oh well. Doing well inside, but any day now. Any day now. I was getting afraid that last night I was gonna have to get out of bed and do all that. I'm sure it's gonna happen while I'm in the middle of a long haul flight. We're just about to land on a flight. Turn up the screens. let's see, where are we at? We got the fuel coming on board. Let's get the passengers coming on right now too. Bring up Pack X. Our flight, career mode, world tour. Alright, our initial cruise is going to be 37,000 feet. An hour, 18 minutes is the estimated flight time, and we do have a pretty full plane, 179 passengers. What are we, Royal Air Maroc? In-flight entertainment. Get to our navigation lining up. That takes a few minutes, about 5 minutes. To our fire tests. Hopefully we don't have any errors. Go right. Go right here. We actually, last flight, I tried to start the plane, and the engine 2 fire light was just on, meaning we really couldn't start the engines. Had to start the whole flight over again. Alright. Close that up. That was the fire test. Make sure that information shows up. Seatbelt signs, we'll wait until fuel is all on board. Strobe lights. Having that auto. Put on our nav and logo. That's the annunciator lights. And let's get our clearance for today.
Mohammed V. Ground Royal Air Maroc 1410 IFR to Laayoune ready to copy. Royal Air Maroc 1410 is cleared to Laayoune Airport as filed. Take off runway 17 left climb and maintain 8,000 feet. Departure frequency is 125.1 squawk 0437. Royal Air Maroc 1410 cleared to Laayoune Airport as filed. Take off runway 17 left climb and maintain 8,000 feet.
I guess it's just Laayoune Airport. I worked with the Laayoune. Me and Josh both worked with the Laayoune.
Royal Air Maroc 1410 read back correct. Contact ground on 130.6. Good day.
Alright, squawk 0437. Departures on 125. 501. Ground's on 130.6. Those are in the flight computer. And we're runway 17 left. Okay, so let's start getting the computer set up. At a request, 1410, Golf Mike Mike November, Golf Mike Mike Lima, fuel on board 7.2. It looks like the fuel's all on board, so we can turn on that seatbelt sign. Estimated time, 1 hour and 19 minutes. Page. Alternate today. Today. Not alternate. Oh yeah, alternate today. Our flight plan up is right here. Golf, Charlie, Lima, Papa. That's actually our next destination. That's in the Grand Canaries. Flight number 1410. Cost index 5. Cruise. Flight level 370. Go straight to 0 fuel weight. Go planning. Fuel weight seems very low.
On behalf of the cabin crew, I'd like to welcome you aboard our flight.
I better reset my
Your larger carry-on items in the overhead
no, it didn't.
and smaller items underneath the seat in front of you. If you have trouble finding a location for any of your carry-on items, please use the flight attendant call button over your seat. Somebody will assist you.
7.2
If the
for the
overhead bin
fuel.
is full, please make sure you close it as a courtesy to other passengers.
Our flight plan.
Please double check that all your items are put away so that the aisle is clear and other passengers can make their way to their seats. If you're in an emergency exit row, please leave exit seating responsibility.
Alright, so we're going to be going direct to Charlie Sierra Delta, the VOR, right here for Casablanca. One of the VORs. And an airway. Perform Romeo. 975. Take that to VOR Alpha Delta Mike. Another airway uniform Alpha 600. Got the Solna Sierra Oscar Lima November Alpha. Airway Alpha 600. Do another VOR Lima Alpha Yankee. That's going to be Lyon. And then we'll be direct to runway, planning on runway 4, but could possibly be runway 2. I'm sure the in-game ATC is going to give us the opposite runways, even though there's no charts for those. I don't know if they just don't use them. Taking off from 17 left. We'll just go direct. Alright, radial nav page. Put in the for that just one chart I have up doesn't have it on it. Let's see. No big deal. We'll just get a Lima Alpha Yankee put in there. We need that later. Do 112.1. And the ILS for Lyon's going to be 110.7. It's actually going to let me put in the course. And last page, performance page. This is where I need to get the calculator out. Okay, that away. Calculator. Pull it up so you guys can see what to do. There we go. Our gross weight. On here, I think they had the zero fuel weight. See, the zero fuel weight here is 59.8. Weird. I don't know why. What I'm putting wrong into the weights and balances and everything.
You're ready to go when you are.
All right, passengers already on board. Our gross weight is Give me that total or takeoff weight 66.8. Usually what I put in. Maybe I'm putting in the wrong numbers. Our center of gravity was 25. Flaps 1 and F. We'll have the air conditioning is on. Runway length. $37.20.
Ground Royal Air Maroc 776 ready to copy IFR clearance to Orly.
Royal Air Maroc 776 is cleared to Orly Airport as filed.
Heading
Takeoff
165.
runway 17 right climb and maintain 7,000 feet. Departure
Dry
frequency
elevation
is
is
119.7362.
633 feet. Hey Nuri, or Nuriya. Q and H.
Royal Air Maroc 776 cleared to Orly Airport as filed. Takeoff runway 17 right climb and maintain 7,000 feet.
022.
Departure on
Temperature.
125.1 squawk 7362.
Look right over here on the fly
Royal
pad.
Air Maroc 776 readback
18 degrees.
Contact ground on 130.0.
Wind 20 at 7 knots.
Good day.
Calculate.
Mohammed B. Ground Arabia
Alright.
Maroc 39
Now it's not
ready
perfect
to
because,
copy
and so I'm
IFR
thinking some of these
clearance to
speeds are
Catania.
kind of a little wonky, but good enough for what we need.
Arabian Maroc 3903 is cleared
I haven't
to
fallen out of
Catania
sky
Airport
yet.
as filed. Takeoff runway
I'm doing pretty good.
17 right climb and maintain
Trying to get a
13,000
flight in here.
Departure frequency is 119.0.
Probably have enough. I actually probably have enough time to do 2 flights since the next one's gonna be pretty short. But
Mohammed B. Ground Royal Air Maroc 776
I think I'll just
requesting pushback.
relax, grab some lunch. That way I'm not trying to do this while my wife is freaking out that we got to get going,
Arabia Maroc 3903
and I'm trying to go around 3 times the land or something.
Takeoff runway 17 right climb and maintain 13,000 feet.
Flaps
Departure on 125.1 squawk 0003.
0.8.
Arabian Maroc 3903 readback
Flex
correct.
takeoff is 26. That seems too low. That the takeoff number. All right, put this guy away.
Mohammed B. Ground Royal Air Maroc 776 with Oscar ready to taxi IFR.
Transition altitude is 4,000. All our information is in there. Get the AQ going.
Contact tower on 118.5 when ready.
Fuel pumps on. Supply on. Oxygen supply.
Taxiing hold short runway 17 right using taxiway Alpha cross runway 35 right Alpha Royal Air Maroc 776. Mohammed B. Ground Arabia
Yeah,
Maroc 3903 with Oscar ready
this
to
jetway, the
taxi
jetways are kind of punching through the planes. It's doubled back on itself to go to the opposite door. It's very weird. Close it.
Contact tower on 118.5 when ready.
Yeah, so I don't know what the jetways are doing here.
Taxiing hold short runway 17 right using taxiway Alpha cross runway 35 right Alpha Arabia Maroc 3903.
Mohammed B. Ground, Royal Air Maroc 1410 requesting pushback. Royal Air Maroc 1410 pushback. Request accepted.
Cockpit ground, stand by.
Did I press anything?
1 hour and 8
Alright, APU
minutes.
is
Please
ready.
note the cabin doors now
Turn off the
closed.
external
We also
power.
have to make sure that all devices are in airplane mode and your larger devices are
We're
now
gonna go
shut down and
through
stowed. If you have not already,
here.
please fasten your seatbelt and verify it is low and tight across your lap. Your tray table to seat back must be in the full upright and locked position for departure. Cabin crew secure departure.
There we go.
Okay, sir. The bypass pin is installed. All doors and hatches closed and all ground equipment is removed.
The parking brakes are set. You may lift.
Parking brake set. Lifting the aircraft.
Nuri. Alright, I'll call you Nuri from now on. If I remember. Sometimes
Standing
do,
by for
sometimes forget.
pushback.
Alright, Alright, so we've been lifted. Make sure all of our doors are shut. They are. Go through all of our panels. Nothing wrong. Electrical APU right now. Hydraulics. Fuel. APU. Doors. Again. Flight controls. Alright. Status page. Parking brake. And or we push back. Let me make sure which direction we need to go.
Parking brakes.
Oh, did reset parking brakes. Why is the baggage back? Go away. Go away. Can't get enough, I guess. Alright, we are going... need to go to the right. Like that, Arabic Air or whatever plane that was. Parking brake. First.
Cockpit to ground.
Go ahead.
We are cleared for start and push.
Okay, cleared for push start.
Parking brakes are released.
Commencing pushback. You can start the engines in sequence.
It will start in the sequence.
Alright, ignition. We go through the jetway. Starting engine 2. Older Royal Air Morocco livery right there.
Mohammed Aid Round Royal Air Morocco 1410 requesting the end of pushback. Royal Air Morocco 1410 request to end pushback received.
The round pushback
Please cancel
completed.
pushback
Reset your
operation.
parking brake. Roger, pushback canceled.
Alright, my co-pilot needs to stop saying things before saying things. Back here.
مقعد أمامكم مع إبقاء جميع الممرات والمخارج خالية من
Back
أي
here.
امتعاء.
I need a pushback.
Vous faisant face. Veillez à laisser le couloir ainsi que les issues de secours bien dégagées.
يجب إبقاء حزام الأمان مربوطا طالما أن إشارة حزام الأمان مضيئة.
Veuillez garder
I can
votre
still use the
ceinture
pushback.
attachée lorsque le signal
Please.
lumineux vous l'indique.
يتم ربط حزام الأمان بهذه الطريقة وضبطه
Thanks,
هكذا
co-pilot. And
ثم فتحه
this, I
هكذا.
think the tug's just gonna drive
L'ajuster
to the moon now.
et détacher votre ceinture
Alright,
comme
we
ceci.
do have
يرجى التذكر أن التدخين ممنوع
engine.
منعا
For some
باتا
reason
طوال
not at 20.
هذه الرحلة.
Pour des
Ici,
raisons
c'est
de
available.
sécurité, il est interdit de fumer durant tout le vol.
وكل المراحيض مزودة بأجهزة كشف للدخان.
Des détecteurs de fumée sont placés dans les toilettes.
في حالة انخفاض الضغط تسقط أقنعة الأكسجين تلقائيا منه.
my very helpful, as always, co-pilot decides to end the pushback far earlier than we needed to.
ولن قبل مساعدة الآخرين.
Installez d'abord votre masque avant d'aider d'autres
I guess I
passagers.
got the...
توجد سترة النجاة
only
تحت
get one shot.
مقاعدكم أو تحت مسند الذراع.
Votre gilet de sauvetage se trouve sous votre siège ou dans votre accoudoir.
تنفخ السترة فقط عند مغادرة الطائرة بسحب الشريط الأحمر بقوة إلى الأسفل.
Il ne
Oh.
peut être gonflé qu'à l'extérieur de l'appareil en tirant fortement sur les cordelettes.
يمكن نفخها أيضا
I think they're speaking Arabic and French.
Si nécessaire, utilisez les embouts buccaux pour le gonfler.
سترة النجاة مزودة بضوء لجذب الانتباه.
Alright, maybe we have an invisible tug now. Yes, we do.
Destiné
We have an
à attirer
invisible tug.
l'attention.
مخارج الطوارئ
Unfortunately, because of our co-pilot. Billy.
De visibilité réduite en cabine, les issues de secours sont clairement indiquées.
عند الطوارئ ستضاف
Safety,
أرضية الممرات
real safety
المؤدية
brief
إلى
from
المخارج.
Royal Air
Un
Morocco
éclairage au sol
in French
vous
and
guidera vers la
Arabic.
sortie.
ويوضح الآن أقرب مخرج إليكم والذي قد يكون خلفكم.
Which is interesting because usually you'll have be one language, like the local language, and then English.
إلى مغادرة الطائرة يجب ترك جميع أمتعتكم.
Dans l'éventualité où il vous faudrait quitter l'appareil d'urgence, laissez vos bagages à bord.
يجب التأكد الآن من أن حزام الأمان مربوط بإحكام. طاولة الطعام مطوية. إعادة مقعدكم إلى وضعه العمودي وإنزال مساند الذراعين.
Veuillez maintenant vérifier que votre ceinture est attachée, que votre tablette est relevée et que les accoudoirs de votre siège sont rabattus.
يمنع استخدام الأجهزة
Alright, both engines available, barometric reference,
Le
POR
usage
80F,
des appareils
FCV
électroniques est interdit pendant le
2000.
décollage et l'atterrissage.
يمنع استخدام الهواتف النقالة طوال هذه الرحلة.
L'utilisation des téléphones mobiles est interdite tout au long du vol.
ونذكركم
Taxi,
بأن هذه
runway
الرحلة
turn off
لا
light.
يسمح فيها بالتدخين.
Nous vous rappelons que ce vol est non
Transponder.
fumeur.
يتعين على جميع الركاب الاطلاع على تعليمات السلامة الموجودة في جيب المقعد أمامكم حيث تحتوي على شرح مفصل لمعلومات السلامة.
Nous vous invitons à consulter la notice de sécurité placée dans la pochette en face de vous. Celle-ci contient d'importantes informations relatives à la sécurité de l'appareil.
Weather radar on, brings a wind shear auto.
طوال الرحلة
Veuillez garder votre ceinture attachée durant le vol.
سيقوم طاقم الطائرة بإجراء تفقد نهائي للمقصورة ونشكر لكم حسن استماعكم.
Merci pour votre attention. Les membres de l'équipage se feront un plaisir de vous aider et d'assurer votre confort pendant le vol.
شكرا لاختياركم. الخطوط الملكية المغربية نتمنى لكم رحلة ممتعة.
Merci d'avoir choisi Royal Air Maroc. Nous vous souhaitons un agréable voyage.
Taxiing hold short runway 17 left via taxiway Alpha Royal Air Route 1410.
Alright.
Flight attendants, please prepare for takeoff.
Taxi. I do always like the cars that just decide to sit right in your path every time. Ground traffic is ridiculous. It's right in the way, right in your path. Yeah, I figured French and Arabic were the languages, but typically on a lot of air passenger airliners you get that English because they're kind of like the international language. But obviously, some places it isn't. Like nailed down my pedals. Whenever I try to turn, they don't want to go. I tend to have a little bit more luck by twisting my joystick on the Z-axis. Right. I'm very good on time. Taking off runway 17 left. That was the runway we were supposed to come in last flight, landing here in Casablanca. But no ILS and fog and cloud right before the runway made it a little bit too high. That might have been more pilot error.
Mohammed V Tower Royal Air Maroc 1410 ready for departure runway 17 left IFR to Laayoune. Royal Air Maroc 1410 QNH 30.18103110. Caution the Boeing 737 taking off runway 17 right. Cleared
That's
for
right
takeoff
there.
runway 17 left.
That's another Royal Air Maroc.
Cleared for takeoff runway 17 left Royal Air Maroc 1410.
You should be able to see on this the other planes here. They're near us.
Royal Air Maroc 776 contact Casablanca Center on 125.1. Good day.
Going to 125.1.
Such trouble turning this plane. Bigger planes, they don't want to my rudders or something's wrong with it. I don't know what the input problem is. Okay, holding the brakes, double checking everything is in order. There's no smoking signs. Stabilize the thrust at 40%. B1, rotate. You're up.
Royal Air Maroc 1410 contact Casablanca Center on 125.1. Good day. 125.1 Royal Air Maroc 1410. Casablanca Center Royal Air Maroc 1410 is passing 1,800 feet, climbing 8,000 feet. Royal Air Maroc 1410 Casablanca.
Wow, the plane really picked up speed there.
0.18 continuous clear.
Getting that warning because we still have our flaps out.
Climb and maintain 9,000 feet. Ryanair 8637.
Never had that issue before. It just really climbed up to almost 260 really quickly. And of course I deployed the flaps too then. Stupid. Alright, we're standard.
Climb and maintain flight level 180 Royal Air Maroc 418.
Not sure why I can't get the altitude control.
Royal Air Maroc 776 climb and maintain 15,000 feet.
Climb and maintain 15,000 feet Royal Air Maroc 776.
Thrust is climb. Wasn't the greatest takeoff. Having some issues here. And I don't know why I can't get the altitude control to work for the autopilot. Turn off our nose light. Turn off lights. Landing lights at 10,000. our screens a little bit since it will be dark pretty soon. Transition altitude. Really frustrating when you go to standard and then it's like, oh, you're 300 feet over. It's like, yeah, because that's standard.
Casablanca Center, Royal Air Maroc 1410. Request flight level 180.
That's what happens when you use the default ATC.
Royal Air Maroc 1410 climb and maintain 14,000 feet. Expect flight level 180.
Climb and maintain 14,000 feet. Expect flight level 180. Royal Air Maroc 1410.
It won't let me do a controlled climb for some reason. Really weird how, depending on the flight, it does whatever it wants to do. We're gonna climb. Feet per minute. Get our clearance up to flight level 370.
Request flight level 280.
Royal Air Maroc 1410 climb and maintain 14,000 feet. Expect flight level 280.
Climb and maintain 14,000 feet. Expect flight level 280. Royal Air Maroc 1410.
Royal Air Maroc 418 climb and maintain 12,000 feet.
Gentlemen, we have now passed 2,000 feet. You may now turn on your larger portable electronic
Casablanca Center, Royal Air Maroc 1410. Request flight level 360.
Royal Air Maroc 1410 climb and maintain 14,000 feet. Expect flight level 360.
Climb and maintain 14,000 feet. Expect flight level 360. Royal Air Maroc 1410.
Yeah, see, it says managed, but it's not working, and I don't know why we're already in descent mode.
Climb and maintain 12,000 feet at Royal Air Maroc 418.
Well, that's pretty frustrating.
Royal Air Maroc 418 descent and maintain 6,000 feet.
Well, that's what happens when they don't understand how standard pressure works.
Descend and maintain 6,000 feet Royal Air Maroc 418.
Alright. We're flying, looks like we're flying toward the sunset. And we are kind of on a southwest, mostly south, a little bit west. We're just be flying basically along the coast, get to Laayoune, and we might be even able to see the Canaries from where we'll be at. If I can speak, correct? Not sure we'll be able to see in the dark, though. We'll be able to see the lights.
280 Royal Air Maroc 1410.
Going to give us a controlled, be able to control our line. I think it's because, the reason it's doing that is because we're already supposedly in descent phase. That's why it already has enter destination data. Because the computer's confused because we descended a little bit because they're not understanding the transition altitude. But while we're here, get that information.
Mauritania Airways 118, you are 76 miles southwest. Descend and maintain 14,000 feet. Expect ILS Yankee runway 17 right approach via Sierra Lima Kilo Tree full 1 radial 260 NVR cleared to Sierra Lima Kilo.
So Josh and Neri, how are your days going? I know Josh is an hour ahead of me, so it's 10:30 in the morning. He's over there in Florida. And Neri's over in Kazakhstan, so it's probably... Well, it's definitely evening, I'm not sure. I think China right now. China is probably 11 p.m., 10 p.m. Kazakhstan, I mean, China's all one time zone, so Kazakhstan might be quite a few hours off from that. It might be like 7 or 8 in the evening. Mauritania Airways. I think I wanted to do a flight with Mauritania Airways, but I don't think I could find a livery for it. That's cool. Yeah, it's... Well, you do own a yacht, so you got the money to do it, I'm sure. And it's just about going through the immigration process, getting the green card and all that. I thought it was going to be a lot harder, to be honest, but...
Descend and maintain 14,000 feet. Mauritania Airways 118.
I thought it was going to be a little bit harder to do the whole process. It took us a year, I think. Josh is just designing rockets in Kerbal Space Program. Never actually... Let me see if that... Kerbal... You have Kerbal Space Program or Kerbal Space Program 2? Or is that maybe 2's just come out? Or it's going to be coming out 2022. Okay, so I have Kerbal Space Program on my ignore list, so it doesn't show up for me on Team.
Mauritania Airways 118, please expedite your descent. 14,000 feet.
I always seem to miss the games that get overwhelmingly positive reviews. Right.
Royal Emirates 1410 climb and maintain flight level 360. Climb and maintain flight level 360.
We might get to flight level 370.
1410. Casablanca Center, Royal Emirates 1410. Request flight level 370.
I think if I had a ton of time, I might consider looking at it and getting it. Try it out. But I'm sure I'm just gonna have less time than I've already had. Or hopefully gonna be doing some local work. Need to get in contact with my company. Then at least I'll be home every day, but even being home every day, I'm gonna have other things I'm gonna need to do. Yeah, I've got plenty of games to play right now. Let's go climb at 2400. Yeah, I like space and stuff. I'm not, yeah, I don't know, I'm not obsessed with rocketry and all that stuff, but it's kind of like there's only enough bandwidth. So it's like if I'm doing Flight Simulator or if I'm doing trucking, yeah, I used to do SimCity obsessively all the time. And it's kind of hard to, you know, with stuff like that, it's like you need to learn it. You need to learn the game. I mean, I'd love to go. I played a little bit of, what was that? Not Crusader King. I played Crusader Kings, but I'm trying to think of, what's the one? Let me see, I got it. It was, you know, Stellaris. You asked me about Stellaris. I played that a little bit. I got so many games I've probably played 10 minutes on just because I don't have time to sit down and learn them. I got a bunch of Total War games. I think I played a bunch on one of those, or a couple of those. Some mods. What's the game? Kingdom Come Deliverance. I played 22 hours, and that'd be a game I'd love to play a lot more of. And then, obviously, you get something like Skyrim, and I played, barely scratched the surface of that. And I just know I can't get into it because I'd want to spend every waking moment playing it and getting all the mods and going through it. We can see off on our right. Let's see, what is that city going to be? Probably the city of Safi.
Mauritania Airways 118, please expedite your descent flight level 320.
Then off to our, that's going to be Marrakesh. Could be Marrakesh if we're kind of looking ahead.
3,500 feet.
Marrakesh out on the left, and Safi and the Atlantic on the right.
And maintain flight level 370.
Climb and maintain flight level 370 Royal Air Morocco 1410.
Yeah, I didn't get Crusader Kings 3. I think I want to say I got that. I think I got Crusader Kings, and then I got a bundle that included Stellaris. What's the one? Europa Universalis and the Imperator Rome. I played a little bit of Imperator Rome, a little bit of Stellaris. Couldn't get where is it? I can say it right. Europa Universalis 4. I always remember seeing Europa Universalis 4 pop up on my suggestions, and I was never sure, like, oh, that looks pretty complicated. I mean, just Total War Empire or whatever, which is the more, I think that's more around the time American Revolution leading up to it. I mean, that one looked complicated, and I don't think I ever fully got it. And then obviously Europa Universalis is a whole nother level. Crusader Kings, I liked Crusader Kings because, yeah, I really liked that one. I'd always start out though, I think I did one, the first campaign I did, I started out as, I think Sicily, or one of the territories that makes up, I think it was in Italy though, I don't think it was in Sicily, but it was, I think I started as a duke or something, and I expanded to a pretty big empire actually. I was pretty surprised, I was pretty pleased, and then obviously you got the squabbles where eventually a brother broke off and split the whole thing up. I think I won a crusade, so I had Jerusalem over here and a whole huge crusade kingdom along with it. But then usually what I did after that, I would just always start with the shattered kingdom. started with the Shattered Kingdom, so everyone started as a baron, right? You started with the one territory. Then you'd have to quickly take over your neighbors and build something up. And the latest one, I think I started in northern Spain and basically took over most of Europe and most of the Mediterranean. And then at one point I had like 2 or 3 sons. One son was just a complete maniac and insane. And then one was a military genius. The other one was also a genius. The military genius just took off one day and started his own thing. And somehow or another he took over a chunk of my kingdom, or he established his own kingdom and built it up pretty good. And then I ended up being his heir. So when he died, suddenly the empire expanded again. So yeah, that was a really fun game, Crusader Kings. You were talking about your obsession with space and everything. It's like, I used to play those X-Wing and TIE Fighter. I still have them. So, like I said, if I have more time, maybe one day a week we can set aside to doing old Star Wars games. I think that is going to be my plan, if I have the time to do it. Do a few missions in TIE Fighter or X-Wing. Play some Dark Forces, some Jedi Knight. Which one were your first sins? X-Wing, TIE Fighter? I think they were for everyone. Was that and I can't remember what my neighbor had. Our neighbor is the ones that basically gave us all those, and my uncle I think gave us TIE Fighter on their old floppy disks. But they had a fighter jet sim also. I think we had like this 10-disc World War II planes one, and then when I saw the fighter jet one, it looked so much more realistic. The graphics were just next level compared to what I had seen. Yeah, I remember when I play TIE Fighter or X-Wing, I usually have it on the best graphical settings now. But I think there is an option with the Steam X-Wing, and I know at least with the Steam TIE Fighter where you can play it at with the original, like the targeting. It would just flash the target would just flash with like a red, and the old MIDI music and all that. But TIE Fighter has a total conversion mod, which has added missions. I think it's expanded missions, so hundreds of more ships in the missions themselves. Like the final, I was gonna say the final battle, but that's X-Wing Alliance has that too. They have a kind of an expansion. The TIE Fighter, like some of these missions, they're completely different than the original because there's so many more ships flying around. Actually, it makes it seem a little bit more intense with our need for stimulation nowadays. We're crossing over those mountains in Morocco. Can't really see Marrakesh anymore. Over there's going to be the city of Essaouira. Oh yeah, that was when Star Wars was good. That was when Star Wars was good, is when I think that's my biggest frustration, my biggest disappointment in when they announced the new Star Wars movies, 2014, 2015, 2015 is when Force Awakens came out, but when they dropped that trailer and you had this slightly different stormtrooper, and that's fine, but then kind of everything else was sort of the same. And then watching the movies and just kind of being disappointed. It's like you had this whole expanded universe that was built and really cool, based in the games, like TIE Fighter, X-Wing, Dark Forces, Jedi Knight 2. You had all this lore built out, and then obviously in the books and the comics, you had your E-wings and different Star Destroyers and different ships that were developed, different alien species. Yeah, for me, that's Star Wars. Star Wars is the original movies. I can even put the prequels in. Though the prequels took a little bit of the mystery away from the past. I always liked that mystery aspect. It's like we didn't really know what the past of Star Wars was before the originals. It's kind of a fog of war kind of thing. Those games, yeah, Dark Forces. Dark Forces was my... Dark Forces and TIE Fighter. X-Wing a little bit. X-Wing doesn't expand it too much. I mean, you do get your different missions. But TIE Fighter really expanded it. You got to see Coruscant. You got to see the Imperial homeworld. The Emperor giving out his message. All the ships that have been around. That, for me, that was great. And obviously in the prequels we get to see Coruscant before that. It'd be so great to have seen Coruscant, you know, do the sequels and have it post-Empire or whatever. Post-becoming the Empire. But yeah, they had that, you know, the whole Secret Order, the whole concept of having a warlord or, you know, Imperials squabbling amongst each other in that TIE Fighter game. And then, again, Dark Forces just exposes you to a whole new world. Here he is making a comic. What's the comic about? And if you have a link for a website or Twitter, even Discord, GoFundMe, whatever it is, throw it in here, and feel free to throw it in here whenever you're in. Obviously, hopefully as this channel grows, more eyes will get on it. If that's something you'd like. Directly ahead of us, that's going to be the city of Agadir and Bayurgra. In quite a few communities, obviously. So, Agadir, that's probably why it's our Alpha Delta Mike BOR. Al Masira Airport. See that airport come into view, and that's where we're going to be making a slight course adjustment. We have Agadir, Achira El Jihadia, 8 Melol, Inez Gane, all in this area right there. There's a military airport over there too, Inez Gane Military Airport, probably right in there. Yeah, but speaking, my first sims were, X-Wing, TIE Fighter, World War. It was a World War warplane sim, which was incredibly difficult. And then I think there was like some fighter jet, like, I don't know, I want to say Top Gun, but it wasn't Top Gun, but it was just a fighter jet thing. I think they had some cutscenes, but it was really graphically cool. Oh, the one I remember, what was it called? It was called, was it Rogue Squadron? It was, it was one where it was like a lot of motion capture in it. It was a Star Wars one. And you had a mission where you flew through some asteroids, you fought some TIE fighters, you actually fought in a base, also shooting stormtroopers. The next mission, you were the one that I could never get past. You were on speeder bikes, zipping through the landscape of that planet and trying to escape. It was Rebel Assault, that was what it was. Rebel Assault 2. Star Wars Rebel Assault 2, The Hidden Empire. Yeah, it was very... I think it was in third person, if I'm not mistaken. But it's a rail shooter, so you proceed down predetermined paths. But you have the ability to control aiming, shooting, dodging. Yeah, but basically it was live action. It was the first media to incorporate live action actors and footage in the Star Wars universe since Return of the Jedi. Speaking of Flight Simulator, I'm trying to think what my first Flight Simulator was. I think I dabbled with Flight Simulator X back in the day. Probably my uncle had it, and we were able to play it a little bit. But I don't think I ever got into it because the graphics weren't that great. We just didn't have the computer to handle it. I was more into SimCity at that point. Neri's comic is about a young boy who was kidnapped by Arabs in Casablanca, and he was taken to Arabia. And Arabia is the entire land from Mauritania to Pakistan, so basically the entire Middle East and North Africa, from the southern tip of Chad to the upper tip of Algeria. As I said, if you have links to something, or in the future, feel free to share that. Some links if you get to that point, or if it's just for fun for yourself. Sounds pretty cool. Okay, so we're making our course adjustment, Alpha Delta Mike, headed for Tecna, 25 miles. So we're going to start flying out over the Atlantic a little bit. In fact, that might over there might be the Grand Canaries. Just a guess. I might be probably wrong. That's really cool. Yeah, I can't even imagine doing something like that. I've never... Basically, the most I did, I want to call it comics, is when I was younger. Me and my best friend, we drew a lot of pictures. I think we each wrote some stories. Mine was basically a derivative of Star Wars, and then I can't remember what his was. I think his was kind of like 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea derivative, but we draw pictures and write our little short stories back in 3rd, 4th grade. That's about as much comics as I did, or stuff like that. There we go again. Ryan's belt. I'm always amazed by the sky, the night sky in Flight Simulator. I know someone said, I think I heard that someone actually navigated using the stars, did a flight just navigating by the stars. They actually took out their sextant and all that. And you can actually do it because it is an accurate display of the night sky where it should be on this date. If I were to change the date, if I were to go up into the weather and change the date, stars would move, the sky would adjust to a different place depending on the time of year. So it's really cool. I'm not sure X-Plane had that. I think X-Plane was just stars up there. I don't think it was accurate representation. So hard to tell. I think, yeah, we're over the water. But those, I'm thinking out there, that might be the Canary Islands. I might be wrong. Never mind. Well, it could be. Actually, yeah, I'm going to say that is let me see. Cabildo Insular de Lanzarote. So it's basically the northernmost island of the Grand Canaries. I'm just looking on Volanta right now, which shows me people on VATSIM, or anyone who's using Volanta or is on VATSIM, and still a lot of planes flying into Funchal, Madeira. Popular area around here. Flights. I don't think we're going to get to Funchal, at least not on this world tour, or at least not for a while. Maybe when we come back this direction, maybe I'll do a flight out to Funchal, but that'll be after we kind of tour Europe. Still haven't decided how I'm going to get from Europe over to the U.S. or over to the Americas. We're going to go up to Iceland and then go to Greenland and Canada. Those will all be a little bit shorter flights. Or if we'll do a nice long haul across. Another option is we could go down to Cabo Verde and fly from there over to Brazil. I think there might be some flights. There's no shortage of flights to do. It just depends on how long of a flight do we want to go for. Obviously, a long haul would be good. Hopefully the viewership has grown by then. The community has grown, and maybe we can do a 12-hour live stream. Just flying across the Atlantic. Kazakhia is an autonomous kingdom of the Russian Empire in Aries book. Cool. Like I said, I'm interested to see that. And if there's any way you can share that with us, or share some previews, do that in the Discord. Or if you use Twitter, you can share it on Twitter. All the links for social medias are in the description below on YouTube. If you're on Twitch, just do, I believe I have a few commands, I think. You do exclamation mark and then Discord. That'll tell you the Discord link. Same with exclamation mark Twitter. I believe YouTube also. Bot will give you a link. Alright, we enter our data yet? No, we didn't. We do that. We are actually getting pretty close. Magic paper, I tell you. Yeah, no bad bots today. Alright, QNH for arrival 1018. The temperature is pretty high because technically we're probably arriving there. Real life, it's about 4 or 5. We're going to be arriving in the dark. But in real life, we'd be arriving just as the sun was starting to set. Wind 160 at 6 knots. Transition altitude. (3,500 feet). And minimums. I'll see, runway 2 has an ILS, runway 4 is going to be a VOR. The minimum is going to be 660 for runway 4. For the ILS, the minimum will be 430 on runway 2. Obviously, we will see what we get from ATC. I'm guessing the VOR, they always like to have us come in VOR. The in-game ATC, that is. Alright, one more waypoint. That would be... up at Solna, and Solna is right on the border between Morocco and Western Sahara. So we'll be flying into Lima Alpha Yankee, that is the VOR for the airport. That actually works just fine because either way we're going to be going to the VOR and then we'll be flying out and turning around to get to our arrival runways, whichever one it happens to be. right here. We're coming in. VOR is for runway 4. So we're going to fly out from the VOR 248 degrees, max 220 knots. Once we're 8 miles out from the VOR, to our turn maximum speed.
478, please expedite your descent flight level 350.
Inter-air, okay. Max speed 185, and then we'll get on our final course 42 degrees. And then 6.2 miles out is where we capture our glide slope. And it doesn't have degrees, usually it's 3 degrees. Yep, descent angle 3 degrees.
Interior 478, please expedite your descent flight level 350. Descend and maintain flight level 350 ZAP 7902. Interior 478, please expedite your descent flight level 350. CAP 7902, please expedite your descent flight level 350. Interior 478, please expedite your descent flight level 350. CAP 7902, please expedite your descent flight level 350. Interior 350. flight level 350. Flight level 350.
I just realized having those follower and sub counts right there don't really work. I'm gonna have to put that. I'm gonna have to make that different alert screen to stick with the camera. Whatever, or just put them somewhere else. I think we got some wind farms off to our left. We are just coming back to the coast. Akfanir, probably where those wind turbines are. To our right, out there, so we can see the Gran Canaria, the Canary. I believe these are the Canary Islands. Yep, Canary Islands in English. See the lights out there. So that's where we're gonna be flying next. I'm not going to fly there on this stream. It'll be this afternoon if we do it. It's almost, by the time we get done, landed and stopped everything, it'll probably be close to 10:45, and then about an hour flight and setup. I'll be rushing. Probably want to leave the house about 11:30 for our appointment. We're headed into Hassan the First Airport in Laayoune, Western Sahara. I'm not going to try Sarari, Arab Democratic Republic.
Relay Lamara, 1410, you are 76 miles northeast. Descend and maintain 10,000 feet. Expect vectors visual runway 20 approach. Royal Lamara, 1410, descend and maintain 2,200 feet.
Alright, I'm going to try to get the ATC to give me clearance to one of the actual runways, because there is no... Always go with the runways that they should be giving you. The only approach charts that I have on Navigraphs, this is a paid service. Runway 2, runway 4. Only has runway 2 and runway 4. We're gonna descend to 10,000 feet. We're not doing visual runway. I think we can do ILS runway 2. If we can do it. Very much doubt it. But
would like ILS runway 02 approach Lima, Alpha Yankee transition.
If they don't give it to us, we'll just ignore ATC. Yeah, circle the land runway 20. Don't want to come in runway 20.
Maintain 3,000 feet. Keep speed not above 220 knots. Expect ILS runway
Really
02
frustrating.
approach via Lima Alpha Yankee transition. Circle to land runway 20. Clear to Lima Alpha Yankee. Descent and maintain 3,000 feet. Keep speed not above 220 knots. Expect ILS runway 02 approach via Lima Alpha Yankee transition circle to land runway 20. Clear to Lima Alpha Yankee Royal Air Maroc 1410.
Well, visual. You shouldn't really be giving us a visual runway at night. Let's see what we can do for, if we can even put it in our flight plan. Arrival. Yeah, we can't even do other than so we're gonna do ILS. Keep on the heading. That way we don't screw up with this. So we're gonna go ILS 02. And that's what we're going with. Ignore this constant idea of doing the in-game ATC. They're like, oh well, you got to go do a visual in the dark, and yeah, we can see the runway lights and everything, and maybe I'm doing it wrong. Maybe that's what we're supposed to do. You can call me an idiot if I'm cheating, or I kind of think that if you don't have VOR or anything for that runway, it shouldn't be part of the should probably be a daytime thing. Maybe we'll be ending up flying out some other planes. I don't know. Alright, VOR, we need to be at 3,000 feet. Landing lights. Some more wind turbines off to the right. Oh. Guessing those mountains are the Grand Canaries. Unless there's some mountains right on the coast. So it could be.
Royal Air Maroc 1410 contact Canary Center on 119.3. Good day.
Alright, so our minimum
119.3 for Royal Air Maroc 1410. Canary Center Royal Air Maroc 1410 is passing 9,100 feet, descending 3,000 feet.
Royal Air Maroc 1410 Canary Center QNH 30.06. Continue to Lima Alpha Yankee as planned.
Alright, we're going to be coming in on course 21. Change the VOR to that as well. Alright, you're on. Alright, sorry, Nuri. Arabia will have Arabic as official language, so my main character will learn the language, including English. Cool. And you're on your last two bags of the Lego Titanic model. As I said, I had another guy in here. I don't know where he's gone. Petra. He was Roman. You guys sound very similar. Eerily similar in many ways. But he's in America. He's out in California. You're in Kazakhstan. And the last two bags. Well, good luck on that. VOR, we need to be at 3,000 feet. We'll be there plenty of time. We'll be able to Lower speed, we need to get down to 220 knots. We're going to go out from the VOR at 200, heading 226. And be descending to 2,000 feet at that point. Landing lights on. Arm the spoilers. Get our brakes. Let's see. Altitude set push, seatbelt sign on, anti-ice off, barometric reference set. Did give us that. UNH 3006. When lower than 10,000, we got landing lights on. We put our range is at 10. Constraints displayed. ILS frequency and course. Check. Not sure what's going on with the course. The frequency should pop up eventually, or the course. All right, intercept heading and approach mode on. Everything else is ready to go. 3,000 feet. Plenty of 30 miles out, so always good to not have to be rapidly descending at the last moment. Kind of hard to see much flying at night. Thanks for coming along as we fly from Mohammed V International Airport in Casablanca, Morocco to Hassan I Airport in Laayoune, Sahara Arab Democratic Republic, also known as Western Sahara. I was going to do something here. There we go.
Royal Air 1410, contact Miami approach on 127.5. Good day.
127.5 for Royal Air Maroc 1410. Lay on approach Royal Air Maroc 1410, 3,000 feet. Royal Air Maroc 1410.
I'm going to cancel the IFR and see if we can get that. We can select our own runway. Otherwise, they're going to yell at us.
Lay on approach Royal Air Maroc 1410 would like to cancel IFR.
Get down, get our speed down.
Royal Air Maroc 1410 IFR flight plan. If canceled, radar service terminated. Squawk 7000. Maintain VFR. Frequency change approved. Good day. Lay on approach Royal Air Maroc 1410 is type Airbus A320neo 20 miles northeast of Laayoune 3,000 feet. Request flight following. Royal Air Maroc 1410 Laayoune approach. Squawk 0504. Squawk 0504 Royal Air Maroc 1410. Royal Air Maroc radar contact 18 miles northeast of Laayoune, 3,000 feet. QNH3, 0.06.
Roger, Royal Air Morocco, 1410.
That's on the first, and
Laayoune Tower, Royal Air Morocco, 1410 is 16 miles northeast, 3,000 feet with whiskey to land.
Royal Air Morocco, 1410 Laayoune Tower. QNH3 0.06 with 203 at 14. Fly straight and runway 20.
you know, I guess we could actually visually land.
Fly straight and runway 20 Royal Air Morocco, 1410.
I'm not going to do it now because I haven't set up for it. Yeah, we're actually more technically aimed towards runway, the opposite of runway 4. Runway 2, I think. We're going to come in the wrong way. I bet you for some reason there's actually going to be traffic at this airport. It would amaze me. They'll be facing the wrong direction. Could be. Alright, once we get to Laayoune, we're going to start a descent to 2,000 feet, and then 10 miles out we're going to start our turn into final. We'll keep an eye on if the autopilot does it. If the autopilot does it, we'll just have to do it ourselves. There's our runway over there. We could have done that visually, I think. I think we could have done it visually. I'm a little worried about this flight plan, though. A little goofy. Really goofy. We need to come out of here 226 degrees, 220 knots maximum until we're 10 miles out, and to 2,000 feet. As you can see, it started turning us basically directly to the airport. We're out to 10 miles. Send to 1,000 feet. $185 max for our turn.
2,500.
I see, it always just skips those points. Okay, we're at 2,000 feet. Flaps 1. Cabin check. Turn to 21 degrees. Flaps 2. Turn a little too fast. Too tight, I mean. There was way. I need to learn the way to make that nice smooth turn. For that to get a little closer. Any gear down. Okay, so let's see, we're a little bit off. Right. recapturing the glide slope. Doesn't look like it's doing it. We're gonna take this in autopilot because
$500. 400. 300. 200. 100. 50, 40, 30, 20, retard. Retard.
Royal Air Morocco 1410, you are not cleared to land. Clear the runway.
yeah, we weren't cleared to land on this side. See if we can get off at Bravo. There are flaps. Spoilers.
Royal Air Morocco 1410, you are not cleared to land. Clear the runway.
7:02 p.m. and it's currently about 31 degrees Celsius. You cannot use your mobile devices. Please remain seated until the aircraft has come to a complete stop and the seatbelt sign.
Royal Air Morocco 1410, contact ground on 131.1.
131.1
Alright.
for Royal Air Morocco 1410.
Put that in manually. Probably could just done a visual since we didn't really have. Didn't really use the ILS anyway, for the most part. Off the ATC. Picked up wind shear. View coming up. Euro Truck is good. I'd suggest looking at pro mods. I think to download pro mods, it's like $1. Really good map modding, and yeah, you can make that. It's already a huge game, but you get the pro mods and it'll expand. You can get all the different map mods. You can expand it all the way out to almost the Chinese border. You'd be crossing the steppes in your truck from Russia. Really cool. It takes a long time to load if you have all those map mods. And is Pro Mods free? Maybe you can pay $1 to, it makes it a quicker download. You can download in sections and then compile it, or you can just download as one. It costs like $1. Yeah. I think that's might be what it is. It's been a while since I've done it. Alright, parking brakes set. CPU bleed on. Strobe lights. Driver taxi lights. And I doubt we're gonna get any services here. Doesn't look like we're gonna have power. Oh, we have power. Alright, so let's shut down the engines. The flaps retracted, TCAS, we did all that. Parking brake on, anti-ice off, APU bleed on, external power. Put that on too. Engine master 1 and 2 off. Engines are spooling down. And we're 7 seconds late. We're right on the dot. Drop the seatbelt signs. Drop the beacon light. Fuel pumps off. Your oxygen supply off. Turn off the adheres. Turn the APU off. Just waiting for the passengers to get off. While they are doing that, pull up Navigraphs. Not Navigraphs, so Volanta. First person to arrive at Hassan the First. And we just unlocked the Western Sahara. There's our flight. Pretty uneventful. Little wobbly turn getting in there, but we landed with landing rate 192 feet per minute, flight time an hour 22, landing G-force right around where we like it, landing speed. We were 1 knot slow. Fuel burn 2658. Distance 517 nautical miles. And pull up our map if I can find it. And we got Western Sahara. Next time we'll be flying to the Grand Canary Islands. And that's gonna we're gonna get Spain. And then from there we're gonna fly to Portugal and then over into Algeria, Tunisia, and Libya. That'll be it for Africa. going into the Middle East. Or tipped over camera. Yeah, here's another one of these airports. Just not a lot going on. As we start getting into Europe in hopefully a few weeks, we get to a little bit more active airports. Airports that are a little bit more done than these auto-generated ones. Let's bring up. What did I do? Not sure why everything's shut down there. Here are passengers getting off. Again, the localized names. Sandro Shi. Name. Ria del Carmen Khalifa. We're all getting off. We're going to end the flight. I got to use the bathroom. A soft landing. I'll definitely be recommending you at work. I wish I didn't have that extra shot of rum. Yep, we all wish that. Alright. Well, thanks for coming along on this flight. Hopefully I'll be able to do some more streaming this afternoon. Maybe we'll do that CRJ flight over to the Grand Canaries, to Canary Islands. Until then, please subscribe if you're on YouTube. If you're on Twitch, follow. We got the follower goal. We're trying to get to 50 by New Year's. And until next time, take care. And I'll see you in a few hours.